Hello, welcome back to Rome Total War as we prepare to hopefully deal a killer blow to 3 of our remaining opponents. The 3 factions we're currently at war with, namely the Spanish, Thracians and the Numidians. We are kind of making a nice move on all 3 at the same time, and we've got quite a lot to be getting on with, so let's send this scout over towards Numidia, see if there's any kind of Numidian army waiting anywhere. It doesn't look like there is. There's a strange patch of green just here. I think that's green. Not sure what that's about. Looks like a bit of mold. I'm not sure what that's about. Anyway, we also have this guy over here who's on his way over. We're going to build a watchtower. We do have plenty in the bank, so I think it makes sense to do that. And we're going to keep following the path. Probably drop another watchtower right here. And there's actually a rebel force there. Okay, that's interesting. Pretty weak. I could probably handle it just with the general. That is interesting. I think we should kill them because it looks like they are blocking off our trade. So that does make sense. We're going to take an army from Cyrene. And we're going to begin marching this on the final town of the Numidians. So we're going to fuse the 2 units of hoplites together. And we're going to take all of our stronger units, which is going to be the various legionary cohorts, the Triarii. Although not that particular unit of Triarii, which is very weakened. We'll also take the Roman Cav, and I think we will take the 112 Astarte, although they're not going to do too much. And that is not the strongest force, to be honest. But we do have some more on the way. In fact, I think we've got 2 lots on the way, so we've got these guys as well. They're bringing over 2 more units of Archer Auxilia and 1 more unit of Legionary Cohort, or at least early Legionary Cohort, which is still okay. It might be faster just to go straight to the south, to be honest, because they're kind of lagging behind right now. I'm going to try that. I'm pretty sure there won't be anyone here. Apparently we can't disembark there, though. Okay, that was a mistake. So it looks like we can only actually land on this particular beach for some reason. I'm not really sure why that's the case. Or there. Oh, hang on. I think I'm just muddling up the UI here. It looks like we'll be able to land there and back up the forces slightly quicker that way. We're going to take this force, and we're not going to wait for the extra backup from the Roman Cav and the Archer Auxilia there. I think we are just going to start making a move. I don't think the Numidians have too much. I don't think they're actually going to be able to seriously take this on, and I don't think they'll choose to. Even though they do have some very powerful generals, they don't tend to fully appreciate just how good general units actually are against us. So I think we're going to be pretty safe with that one. Over in Capua, we're going to check that we're still working on things, which yes we are, so that's fine. Over towards Thrace, we've got quite a lot to be recruiting. In this town, because the population is so low, we're just going to go with an assassin. We're going to do exactly the same with Sparta. We're just going to try and overwhelm the Brutii slightly with large numbers of assassins, although in this case I think I'm actually going to go for a spy instead. Corinth, as always, is going to keep producing the legionary cohorts. And Athens, I think we'll just go for Archer Auxilia. Larissa can also produce some kind of unit. Let's go for Roman Cav in this case, so we've got a nice, decent balance all around. You may recall in the previous part I was a little bit confused about my spy. I thought my spy might have been assassinated by the Thracian assassin, but it looks like he was actually just hiding in Byzantium the whole time. So that's all completely fine. A huge amount of trade going out from Tylis towards the final Thracian town. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to send this man over to the north because we want to find out if the Thracians actually have anything they can send to back up Tieless before we make a move towards it, as it's all looking pretty quiet, so I think we're going to be pretty safe to go ahead and attack them. Let's send our spy up in that direction. As you can see, for some reason the chances of actually getting into Tieless here are extremely low. This spy is not too great, but even then it's surprisingly low, so I'm not necessarily going to rush into there. This assassin can potentially assassinate something. We can't go for anything in the town. I think we saw a family member in there, but apparently we don't know about him anymore. and attacking assassins seems kind of pointless, so I think what I'm going to do instead is, in anticipation of our upcoming war against the Brutii, we're going to actually go to the west instead, and we're going to have a go at taking out not Titus the Mad, but the faction heir who is with Titus the Mad, namely Cornelius Brutus. He's got quite a lot of influence, but still a 23% chance of taking him out, so definitely worth a go, I think. And I think the exact same is going to apply to our other assassin. Send him to the west, and over in Byzantium, we are going to start by destroying the shrine to Ares. We're going to replace it with the shrine to Saturn. The wrong one there. Shrine to Saturn, we're going to drop them to a low tax rate. We're going to... We should finish retraining first, to be honest. I'm not quite strong enough to make our move just yet. But we are recruiting some legionary cohort, so I think we'll be fine to move out next turn. Over in the west, I'm really confused by this. There is the Briton faction heir attacking the Gallic capital, which is extremely well defended. For some reason they've gone for that attack anyway. I am hoping that the Gauls will be able to fend them off, so that we can actually take that for ourselves. I would prefer to get through this whole campaign without going to war with Britannia at all. But I think we'll just have to see how that plays out. Over here we've got another unit of cavalry going over to back up our forces to the east. And we've also got a new governor coming into Corduba who should increase the amount of income, so it's currently at minus 773. And once he goes into the town... There we go, we're making about an extra 300 per turn off doing that, so definitely worth it. And we can now think about what else to recruit. I think we've probably got enough peasants now. The public order situation is finally looking okay. We did lose a spy, but we can probably recruit one of those from somewhere else. So let's instead recruit a few more Roman cav. Over in Asturica we will recruit a spy. And we're going to bump them up to a normal tax rate as well, because they're doing fairly well. And then in Scalabus, could recruit another spy, could recruit some Roman cav. I think we will go for some Roman cav. Which still leaves us with 17k in the bank, so we are very much able to splash our funds around if we choose. I think I'll play it fairly safe for now. I'm going to go for the dockyard to increase our income further down the line. And any other towns that aren't currently doing anything, let's make sure that we keep them all busy. So this town can recruit some more Praetorian cohorts, or some Roman cav. I think we'll go for the Roman cav. And that still leaves us with 13k in the bank. Lepsis Magna can't normally do too much. Could recruit some peasants just to improve the public order situation somewhat, but I think they're doing fine either way. Over in Cyrene we're going to send off the remaining backup. They'll step off the ships. Oh, they already have. Perfect. Okay. So we're going to send the cavalry ahead, and the archers are just going to follow up behind. And I think that's pretty much all we need to do for the turn. Let's make sure that we spend our money. Get a practice range. Let's get some auxilia, just in case. And over here, I think we're doing fine for navy. We don't need any more naval units. So let's instead... We'll get some more archers. Can't really go too wrong with archers. And construction-wise, we're going to go for the armourer, I think. Since this place is able to train quite a few units and has some pretty good unit recruitment buildings. Elsewhere on the map, it looks like the Dacians are about to be destroyed. I am hoping that the Julii will at least slow down enough to give us time to reach the final Thracian town. And then we have the kind of the wild card of Scythia, who I'm hoping will stay peaceful with us, but I should probably actually seek an alliance with them, which would give us something else to do with our diplomat here in the north. We've still got 8k in the bank. Let's just have a quick look at any of the towns that aren't currently constructing. So Lepsis Magna can't do too much. Tingi, let's have a look. Okay, this place is way too far away to actually do anything military-wise, so we'll ignore all that. Over in Demidi, similar situation, no need to build anything there. Nepte is completely fine. Parma can't build anything, Scalabus can't build anything, and I suppose in Sparta we will go for the academy, so we've got something to do. And that looks pretty much like all we can do for now. Maybe over in Sicily we can recruit a few extra units. So let's go for an extra Corvus Cinquerim. And let's follow it up with some more Auxilia, because the rival Romans are going to have quite a few cavalry units that we're going to need to fend off. So we can just dedicate those to doing that. It does leave 5k in the bank. I think I'm fairly happy just to let that go for now. But let's not forget about this guy, the Corvus Cinquerim we already have. Should be able to handle this smaller navy very easily. Did take some damage there, but it's fine. They actually sail all the way over to here, as do have a 3-star general or 3-star admiral here, who should be able to make up for his slightly weaker navy and win this. Quite a few losses, but that's fine. We've driven them back over to the west, and we're gonna park ourselves back in the docks of Rhodes, retrain what we lost, and hopefully send these to the south to finish off. I think this might be Thrace's last navy, as they're still alive. I'm not sure where they actually went, but they must have pretty much nothing left now, so that should be completely fine. And I think we're done for the turn, so let's just end the turn. New governor over in Scalabus. Didn't actually see if he's making any extra money or not, as they have successfully fended off Britannia over in Numantia. Thrace is coming to drop the public order of Byzantium. Need to be careful of that, could stop us from leaving the town, as it does drop our public order. Faction Air, I think that is, going to the north. Ooh, we've got the plague in Thapsus. Okay, that's unwelcome. Still, does mean we can bump up the tax rate, so it has got some kind of small advantage. We're going to have to isolate Thapsus, make sure we don't do anything else there for now. With Placus Rupilius, we're going to go ahead and recruit a couple of units of Numidian mercenaries, I think. They should do pretty well against all of these units. Not sure why he's saying he can't move. He clearly can. As they attempt to move away, I think we need to take them out, because otherwise they're just going to cause all kinds of problems for our trade. Could have also recruited the Libyan mercenaries, but I think it's going to be fine either way. Let's just take these on. So they have got themselves a little bit of a hill, and they don't appear to be doing a great job of parking themselves on top of it. Hopefully we can deny them from the crest. As yeah, it does look like they're actually going to hang pretty still. We're just going to make them very easy to catch out with our general. If we just swing around to the side. Town militia should be fine just to rain some ammo at. Need to be very careful of these skirmishers, they could actually take out our militia cav very quickly. As, I think they have low enough range that we should be able to avoid getting hit by them. Not sure why we're getting so close here. We are very low range, I guess. Skirmishers are coming forward. I'm going to actually pull all these back because we're not actually going to take hits from those very well at all. And although I would like to attack them with my general, I think the town militia, because they do have spears, they could cause us some problems, so we're just going to try and ignore all that and go for this general unit at the back instead. Move these away, and let's hit these from the side. Should be massively superior to these, and I think I will actually just charge the skirmishers directly with the rest of our cavalry. So let's check this isn't the general himself, as it is, and oh no, it's not. Okay. I thought that was our general and I got really upset then, but it's completely fine. He's safe. Let's get him to safety, as it looks like they are ready to rout, so we can just charge in and hopefully break them. Have lost a few of our militia cav, but that's fine. They are just cheap mercenaries. And now we can just mop them up. Bit of friendly fire going on, but not really too bothered. I don't tend to put too much stock in militia cav in general. Don't tend to be the best units. It's very unfortunate for Numidia that Militia Cav are pretty much the only units they get, but that was completely fine. No real serious losses there, and should potentially open up an extra trade route for Lepsis Magna to start making us a little bit more money, as we are actually doing pretty well economically for now, although should bear in mind that a lot of that has come through exterminating various populations, which is maybe not the most sustainable method of making money. Although we will have plenty more conquests to make. We've built lots of things this turn, and we only have 9,000 to spend for now. I'm going to go for the Temple to Saturn because we need to make sure we keep public order situation here as good as possible, as Tieless is looking very open right now.
Yes, master.
Chance of success has gone up to 77%, so let's just jump in. Do get in successfully, which gives us an extra +1 skill, and we also have 32% chance of immediately opening the gates. However, do have to be careful because Xyles the Cunning is the faction leader, and he is hidden in here. He's not got the best stats. He's a good manager, but that's not really going to bother us too much. So, potentially beatable, but have to be very careful with something like that. I would probably prefer not to go in and immediately assault the town. We don't have any spear units here, so kind of hard to actually get a good matchup against the faction leader there. Need to be a little bit careful. So let's try taking a step out of the town, see how bad things get. So drops immediately to 10% public order. That's maybe not going to work too well. Okay, so let's try and send a few units back. Start with Hastati, that's obviously not going to make too much of a difference. Equites we can probably go without. And we'll get rid of these Hastati too. Only up to 20% public order, so might just be stuck here for now, to be honest. Is this this must be an opposing spy, it's not our own spy, surely. Is this telling us we can kill our own spy? I had no idea that was a thing. Why would you ever want to do that? I'm really confused by that. 15% chance to kill the faction heir is really interesting. 36% chance to take out an extra family member is also very interesting, and I think I would like to give that a go. Oh, we did it. Nice. Okay, so now it's even more weakly defended. Just the faction leader in there, along with a unit of Bastane, who are reasonably okay because of their second hit point, but not massively scary. If I can actually leave Byzantium, I think we would be fine. But unfortunately, there are no mercenaries available to recruit, so no easy way to shore up the public order situation there. Just recruiting peasants would not work either. We're going to need something a bit better than that. As we can see, Thracians do still have a navy to the north, Kinkarim, and a Byreme, so nothing too tough, but haven't completely taken the seas just yet. Okay, so let's look over here. Let's send our spy over to the Numidian capital. Can't quite make it this turn, but next turn we will be able to see exactly what they have in there. It's going to be something fairly decent, but I think fairly manageable as well. And let's just go ahead and build everywhere we can. In fact, because we don't have quite as much money to splash around this turn, we should perhaps prioritize our stronger areas, as this. I think this is the Thracian navy we were fighting. Maybe not, because it's three command stars on there. But they are preparing to blockade our capital, which would not be too good. Still can't really recruit anything too great here, so we're just going to keep queuing up the Praetorian cohorts, and we're going to send our Corvus Kinkarim to the north to fend that off. Thapsus we're not going to recruit anything because of the plague, as Carthage is officially full up. But let's just keep recruiting things anyway. I will go for some Legionary Cav because we don't have any yet, and I think we're not too worried about the extra upkeep we have to pay. Shouldn't matter too much. Faction announcements looks like just various useful things. Nothing negative there to worry about, so that's good. there is nothing left of the rebel force. So let's see, does that make a difference immediately? Can we immediately see trade caravans on the move? Doesn't look like we can. But never mind. I would really like to go for this attack. Okay, that takes it to 30%. So against this particular force, I think the main thing we want... I think we do just want a pretty balanced force, to be honest. The problem is, Folksmen, I think, get damage bonus against our legionary cohorts, so we definitely want archers to deal with those. And then we want cavalry to catch them out potentially if they come out of the walls. It's looking like it would be pretty tough to actually take them directly. We need some backup, probably from this force. But there are no mercenaries available to recruit there either. Let's see. Okay, 7% chance of success. We're not going to go for that. I think we should probably just go for a captain instead. This is also very unlikely. Not sure why this captain's so good, because there's absolutely no benefit to taking out an opposing captain, but I think that would just result in us losing our assassin, so we're not going to do that just yet. I think we'll just avoid attacking anyone on this particular turn, and we will just go ahead and recruit another spy. And I think we're going to be pretty safe just to go ahead and push with our main force down here. Join them up with the cavalry and send down our archer auxilia. As Admiral, is it Vibius is able to land some kind of force here, so that's good. We're going to need to join these up because otherwise it's going to be pretty dangerous. But I think it's pretty unlikely that Numidia is actually going to send anyone outside of their walls to deal with us. They don't have any watchtowers here, so in theory they don't know we're coming. But I suspect they're going to be playing pretty defensively right now. So we have 7k left in the bank. Capua is recruiting. Syracuse also recruiting. Let's see if we can build something useful. Yeah, so we're going to go for an arena just to improve our public order. And that leaves us with 5k in the bank. Carthage is busy. Lubain's busy. Let's go over to Greece because this is where a lot of the action is going to be. We'll go for the large temple to Saturn, which is very good for our public order, and we'll bump them up to a very high tax rate. As looks like we can actually safely send a couple of units out of this town. And they're actually still extremely happy. That's quite interesting. Can't actually recruit any extra cavalry here just yet, so can't start feeding in extra cavalry, but what we do have here should be enough to maybe back up our few forces that we will send to Tieless. Let's just send back some of the weaker infantry. Still not enough. I think we'd have to lose maybe another 4 units, which is probably just too much, to be honest. I suppose try going here. I was hoping that would enable us to recruit a few extra mercenaries, but apparently that boundary has no effect. So we're still pretty stuck. We'll send back some archers. Still only up to 45%. It seems that we are just stuck in Byzantium for now, unfortunately. I still don't think this guy is ready to actually assault this town. I think I'd much prefer to starve them out. This is really not the strongest force. It's got Principes, Hastati, one slightly weakened unit of legionary cohort, and a couple of units of Cretan archers. Obviously that's very good, but I don't think we should take them on in a siege. So we are just going to have to bide our time, I think. Last ditch attempt. That does actually improve them, just enough. But is this force actually strong enough to take on a faction leader and 2 further infantry units? We would be having just the 1 unit of our own infantry, which is probably not enough. But we could besiege them, we just couldn't actually take them on. That's the problem. We can't assault them. I still want to go for it though. So the big risk here is that if this guy turns back and comes to fight us off, I think we pretty much just have to back off because we're not going to be strong enough. As it actually looks like the Julii are moving on that final town, which may explain why they're moving to the north just to try and defend that last little bit they have left. Still got 4k in the bank, so let's have a look at what we can do around here. Going to recruit another spy, I think. Over in Athens, we're going to recruit some Legionary Cav. I've kind of changed my mind about them. I think we might as well get a few of those, since they are a little bit stronger than Roman Cav. And we can build something here too, so let's go ahead and get some highways to improve our trade. And I don't think there's anything else for us to do. If we attack these docks, we have appeased the Senate for one more day. All it's worth. I'm not sure there's much point appeasing the Senate at this point, but there we go. I'm going to move towards Numidia and try to get into there. It's saying it's not possible. I can't remember if that's because I already have a spy in there. It doesn't look like I do. So I'm not sure why it's saying I can't. 95% chance of success. That's good. Do have some forces left over in Asturica, but can't afford to do anything else this turn. Okay, let's end the turn, and we'll see what happens. So Gaul's still trying to bribe us. Don't think that's going to work out for them. Otherwise it would have done already. As it looks like Thracians are actually fighting rebels. I'm surprised that someone's come for the Corvus Cinquerim. Must be a rebel Cinquerim. Oh wow, okay. The Corvus Cinquerim, not perfect, did actually lose that fight. This force... I don't know if this causes us to not succeed at the Senate mission or not, but I'm not too bothered either way. Doesn't really matter too much. Still got the plague. Let's see if it's spread. No, still just abscess, but we've lost a huge number of citizens there. And it looks like it's actually triggered some kind of rebellion somehow. I'm not sure how that works. We do mostly just have Hastati here, which are pretty useless. I wonder if we can just take these on. Is the plague still there? Plague's still there, so not yet safe to start recruiting. Carthage, we can improve our infrastructure. I do want to get the Circus Maximus, but I think it's going to be a while till we can afford that. Admiral Spurious. Okay, so he couldn't actually blockade it. It looked like he blockaded it, but he actually hadn't. It was blocked by the Rebel Navy, which has now taken us out. So, not going to succeed at that Senate mission, but that's fine. I think we'll just go park back in the docks, or the friendly town. Only 2 turns left till we take the Spanish capital. Once again, I don't think it's worth going for the assault. We would lose too many units for no particular reason. But I would like to get an alliance with Scythia, so we don't have to worry about them later on. What I am worried about is this Julii army going to the east. It looks like it's going straight for the final Thracian town. That's not ideal. On the other hand, it does give them a new frontier against Scythia, so if we can ally up with these guys, we can potentially use them in our war against the Julii. Okay. They have spoken and will not change their minds. I never know whether to take that literally or not. If we were to offer them map information, which we do have quite a lot of, does that make any difference? I'll even offer them military access because I'm not too worried about them. No. Okay, so we know they're not trustworthy. Perhaps we don't want to front line with them. I do want to see exactly what's in here. So there's a small defensive force, no family members. Yeah, this is looking pretty bad for Thrace. I need to make sure I take Tieless before they can. 17% chance on the faction leader. If we could pull it off, it'd be huge. I think it's more fun just to have a go. I'm guessing we... Oh, wow. I don't think I've ever actually successfully taken out a faction leader before. Okay, now that changes things. We can actually... almost certainly take the town now. They have got an extra unit of phalanx pikemen, which is bad for us because we have so much cav. The gates are open, and it looks like actually we are now able to recruit some mercenary peltas. I think we should take all the help we can get. I'm going to send up our extra cav, and just about join up, so that's great. Okay. I think so many things have gone well for us that it would be wrong not to have a go at taking Tieless. I did not expect to have Tieless before Phylosora, but let's have a go at taking this down. Okay, so if we take a look at the town itself, it's pretty awkward to actually get into the town square. We have to go all the way through here, and then we have to go across over to here, and then down this long road. Actually, that's the wrong road. We have to go even further. We have to go all the way around here, and follow this long path up to the square, which is going to involve getting absolutely massacred by these giant watchtowers. That's pretty worrying. I think what I will try and do is take my new mercenary peltasts and just use those to capture as many of these towers as we can. What we don't know is exactly where they're going to appear with their various units. If the AI was really smart, they would just drop their phalanx pikemen right here in front of the gates. I don't think they'll do that, but have to be pretty careful because that would completely screw us over. Although, we would be able to get in at any other gate instead. So either way, we're going to get in somehow. Let's just see what they do. So they have got a couple of units towards the front. I'm not sure if it's the phalanx pikemen or not, as, oh wow, they've actually done it. Didn't think they had it in them. Okay, that kind of changes things a bit. We're going to have to send our units around the side. It's going to take a while, but definitely worth doing, as the Folksmen are on the move. They have the general with them, so could actually break their morale if we wanted to. It would be nice to come over here and try to skirmish them through the open gate. The problem, of course, is that we would get destroyed by the towers, so got no choice pretty much but to try and get in some other way. So one slightly less obvious advantage to going this way around is we do have a slightly more direct route into the town centre. We just need to... Actually, perhaps we don't. I might have looked at that wrong. We need to come around this way, push our way through here, where we will find this giant temple, the large temple of Ares. Okay, I think that improves their fighting ability, but in the middle we will find only Bastane, which should be pretty easy to take out. The phalanx pikemen are still waiting at the front, so I think we might actually be able to time them out if we're really lucky. I'm going to try and charge these straight through the gate. I've deliberately left a couple of... Actually, I thought I had. I think I should leave at least one unit of Roman cav over to the front here, just to try and tempt them into leaving their phalanx pikemen by the gate. Meanwhile, we'll send the rest of our forces over to this gate instead. We'll push in and we'll try to rush for the central plaza, which should pretty much screw them over, because I think the AI is actually not able to get themselves out of the phalanx formation, which means they're going to take their time. They're going to have to walk that extremely long route just to get to the center, and they're going to have 3 minutes to do so. So it should be definitely possible to exploit that, as we're not quite in range yet, but as we get closer to the gates, we're going to start getting shot pretty badly. I think perhaps we should actually spread out just to make it that little bit safer. Although, I think the fact they don't have any units over here possibly means that they're not going to shoot, although I can actually hear them shooting, so yeah, we will take a few losses here, but we're just going to try and rush our way in, and hopefully it won't be too rough. Not too worried about losing a few mercenary peltas, they're not really too important, as are we actually not able to get in? I'm confused. Something has gone horribly wrong. Okay, so they're moving closer. Can they get through the gates? I don't see why not. This could be a glitch. Yeah. Okay, so this is really annoying. We can't seem to go through the clearly and blatantly open gate here. We're completely stuck somehow. I think I am just going to try and hug to the gate as closely as possible, and hopefully one of our individual soldiers will accidentally stray through, which will somehow trigger some kind of capture sequence. Let's just see how it goes. Not close enough yet. Seem to be all stopping. Can they go through? There we go. Okay, they made it eventually. Still got about half of the unit left. Surely now it will acknowledge that we've taken it. It might be that we need to get the majority of these soldiers through first. Phalanx pikemen still haven't moved. This doesn't yet say we've taken it. No. I'm not sure what's going on. Doesn't say we've taken the gateway. Perhaps if we actually walk up onto the gateway, that might work. Okay, there we go. This surely must work.
Our soldiers have captured the walls.
There we go. Okay. That was a lot more taxing than I expected, but the good news is we have now taken the walls. We should be able to just charge straight through these next couple of towers, so we can take them for ourselves. We should shield the rest of our units as they attempt to enter. So let's gather these guys up and let's place them in front of the walls. And these guys are just going to run through, capture the towers, and help the rest of our units get safely to that plaza, where the Folksmen should go down pretty easy, the Bastani should go down pretty easy, and from the way they're set up right now, it looks like they're not really going to be able to fight us with all three of those units at once. Okay, the bad news is the Phalanx pikemen are now on the move. I'm not sure they're going to be able to really respond to us quickly enough, but we can see they are actually. I was mistaken, they will take themselves out of the phalanx formation in order to get to the town square that little bit quicker. That's kind of unfortunate, but we do still have a unit of Cretan archers and a unit of archer auxilia to attempt to draw them out, as the rest of our forces are going to slowly approach the plaza from the other side. And I think we can afford to take our time here. The plaza is so large that we might actually just about be able to use our cavalry's maneuverability to our advantage. I'm pretty tempted actually just to run them in the hopes of taking out the Bastani before the Phalanx pikemen arrive. If we can take it to the point where it is just the Phalanx pikemen on their own in the middle, then that's where the Cretan archers and everyone else should be able to pull something off, but by the looks of it, Phalanx pikemen are actually going to make it, to my surprise, over to here before we can do anything, as these guys are getting shot on their way through the other gate, but that's fine. We're now approaching them from two different directions. Don't know if that's actually going to help us or not, but we're going to keep these guys somewhere in the middle of town in reserve. Probably don't actually need to lose those, but never mind. These guys have stopped moving for some reason. I thought I told them to go to the middle. Okay, so it looks like we're not going to be able to pull off any kind of rush on the Bastani, but that's not necessarily a terrible thing because the Bastani are still pretty vulnerable to missile fire, so it should still be pretty weak to our archer units, and these guys are still pretty split. Their general unit is fairly isolated. These guys are still getting shot, but hopefully now starting to get away from the last of the towers. General's going forward. I think is a bit too late. So let's bring up our archers. And in the front we're going to have our legionary cohort, just to hold the line against the Phalanx pikemen if they get closer. Ultimately, it's not going to be a nice fight for us if we have to fight them head on in any sense. So what I kind of attempt to do is to put my units on each side of this particular temple, or of the temple, which is a pretty awesome looking temple, I gotta say. When you consider how old the game is, it does look pretty awesome. But we should actually be able to potentially flank them if they do decide to come forward, as it looks like they are actually going to pull all the way into the plaza. So we should keep an eye on the general unit who is around here. Does appear to be moving towards our Roman cav at speed, so let's actually pull out of there. Don't necessarily want to engage them just yet. General possibly could. These are, I think they're good against armor. I have to be a little bit careful, because that could be very bad news for the general. But on the upside, I think we can actually bring these in, and if these guys are going to keep rushing towards us, they should be pretty vulnerable to our arrow fire, as these guys are taking their time to get through here somehow. I'm not sure what's going on, but that's really unfortunate because we're now taking completely unnecessary losses. But we pulled around the side. Had to pause the game for a moment because some strange man was yelling something outside my window. Slightly surreal, but there we go. He's gone quiet now, so I'm just going to get back to playing the game. So they're starting to pile in. Our archers are able to fire. That's good. Elsewhere, looks like the other two units are going to wait in the center of the plaza, so that's great. If they do come to attack us, I'm not sure why our units are insisting on getting quite that close. That's really not a good idea, as these guys are now getting killed. I'm not sure how that's happened. Okay, fine. Alright, need to be a little bit careful here. These guys are maneuvering themselves in the worst possible way. You know what, I think we're just going to have to charge in with everything we have. Because there is a serious risk that the Cretan archers, through their own idiocy, are going to get themselves caught out. That tower there is owned by Thrace, so have to be very careful not to get shot too much by that, as this is really sad because Cretan archers are such great units, and this is such a bad way to lose them. But they are just going the worst possible route, and they are just completely getting caught out right now. This is why I avoid siege battles. This kind of thing happens all the time, and obviously is ridiculous. I'm not sure how they ended up in this situation. But okay, although we have lost about 20 of them, we are now able to clean up what's left of the Folksman unit. We do still have quite a few left, and we can still use those to help take the middle, as the general will go down for sure. It's not going to help us too much if the general goes down, because of course they have unlimited morale in the central square, but it does mean we now just have the two opposing units to worry about, and those should be completely fine. So we're just going to have a good mix of units on each side here, and if they do come through to attack us, we should be able to just charge them from each side. I wouldn't be surprised if they just stay in the middle and let themselves get hit, but we will soon see how it plays out. I'm not at all worried about the Bastani, but the Phalanx Pikemen could be quite uncomfortable to deal with. Hopefully this time we will back off once they get closer. So we are starting to shoot. I think they have now reformed into Phalanx formation. We'll just have to see how it plays out once our units are a little bit closer to the opponents. You guys are going to pull back because we don't really want to fight the Phalanx Pikemen head on. We can avoid it. And now these guys are going to have to start backing off. They're shaken, which is good news. They are out of the town square, so they can rout if we start using flaming ammo, as actually our own mercenary peltas are now fleeing. Not really sure what's going on, but it looks like they have got caught, and yeah, they're actually running straight towards the Phalanx Pikemen, which makes zero sense. Let's just see if we can keep them alive by running them out manually. Okay, this is going to be uncomfortable, but we are going to have to fight them head on, and just hope that we can flank them with the cav, and that they'll focus their spears on the legionary cohorts. I believe that sword-based units do have some kind of advantage against phalanxes. Obviously not head-on, but I think they do get some kind of stat bonus against them, which is going to help. So we have taken quite a few of them out. They are wavering, they've turned their backs to us, but they are going to turn back to face us just in time to avoid a few of those extra losses. Still, they have taken quite a few losses there. They are going to break pretty quickly, I think. We put our flaming ammo back on, and we start trying to shoot them. I think that should be okay. So we're going to try and charge in from each side. Hopefully break them. We have successfully broken them, so that's great. Let's try and take out as many as we can before they get back to the town square. Not sure if we'll actually get any kills. So actually we are getting quite a few, but they are about to immediately regain their morale, and at that point we're going to have to immediately pull our cavalry out because they're going to get destroyed. Still 158 of these guys left, can probably just win the fight directly. I'm going to try and pull these away through the side so we can flank. I'm going to take a lot of losses there, but that's fine. We'll send these guys in, and we'll send these guys around the side to flank as the Bastani are coming to thwart our plan. attempting to outmaneuver them, but taking a few losses here, which is quite unfortunate. Still, our legionary cohort are coming in, and we have just about managed to outmaneuver them, taking quite a few losses in the process, but can now hit the phalanx pikemen in the back for a few extra kills. Bastani closing in, probably will lose this unit of horsemen. I'm going to send the general up just to help them out, as we have managed to break the phalanx pikemen. They did apparently push themselves slightly out of the town square. We are losing one of our units to a big rout. That's fine. We're taking extra losses here. We didn't need to take anywhere near this many losses, but this is why I prefer to starve things out, because things do just happen like this. But at this point, we are surrounding the Bastani. They'll start to drop very quickly once they lose their extra hit points, and we're just going to attempt to hack them down. The numbers are dropping pretty quickly. I think we have no choice but to just fight this out. General is extremely good. He's taking a few losses, but he should survive this. If we're extremely unlucky, he might die, but this should be massively in our favour. Some extra cav coming in here. Let's see if we can send them around the back. Just a 16 left now, and they're going to go down very quickly indeed. And we have once again taken the Thracian capital. So they now just have the very small town to the north left. And that is going to be the end of Thrace. I think we've literally spent about half the campaign so far, if not more, fighting just Thrace. So we'll feel very good to finish them off, but I think we have done enough for this part. First, before we end it, let's have a look exactly what's going on with the native population. Let's see just how much they hate us. Do they randomly have an extremely low population again? Looks like they don't, so we're going to have to kill them off. Which is not enough to appease them, but if we drop them to a low tax rate, that normally works. Doesn't actually work too well in this case. The large temple of Ares, if we delete it, it does actually give the +2 morale, which is what I expected. Makes them slightly tougher to fight, but obviously we don't want to keep that around. It's giving us a culture penalty. Now we're just going to go for the arena because it's a safe option. If we destroy the temple of Ares too soon, the culture penalty will be offset by the loss of public order. We've taken Tylis, which leaves the Thracians with only Campus Getae, which is fairly weakly defended, but if we go to the southwest we should find another family member who also has actually an extremely small force. It's going to be a race against the Julii to take that final town. Should we fail, that's fine. We can just try and fight them off. Anyway, we're going to have to fight the Julii pretty soon regardless. But yeah, I think we've done enough for this part, so thanks for watching guys, I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time.